Hi everyone, it's me, Champagne Lady, and here again, giving you some more tips and information on choosing the right champagne. Very important to recognise that not all champagnes are created equally. There are lots of reasons why one champagne is better than another. For example, we have different levels of grapes. We have the Grand Cru, we have the Premier Cru, and we have the Village basic levels of grapes. And that depends on their position, whether it's higher on the slopes, whether it's facing the sun, whether it's on the flat, whatever it happens to be. It also depends on the pressing. There's a number of squeezes of the grape. Obviously, the first squeeze of the grape is going to be the best because that is going to give you the finest, the most delicate, the juice that is going to go on to make the champagne. It's going to be the finest quality. Then we have to determine whether or not it's aged for a certain period of time. How long is it being aged before disgorgement? The minimum period of time for a champagne to be in the bottle before disgorgement is 15 months for it to be called champagne. So if it pops out at 12 months, it's not champagne, regardless of the fact it's in the Champagne region. So 15 months for the basics. Now, as for an example, my Champagne Jacquard, even for the Brut Mosaic, it's aged 3 to 4 years before disgorgement. You can imagine the extra complexity that is developed in that champagne. For a vintage, it could be 5 to 7 years. So imagine the character and complexity in that bottle. And of course, the amount of time that has been spent with that bottle sitting there, with somebody riddling it, twisting that bottle every day. They have machinery that does it too now, but there are still certain sellers that are still riddling it by hand every day. Imagine the time and cost needed to produce that bottle. So these are the factors as to why one champagne costs more than another. As I said before, you've got the Grand Cru, Premier Cru and so on, and the grapes, what they do, they set the grape price per kilo. A Grand Cru is 100%. So if, say, it was 12 euros per kilo, that would be the cost for a Grand Cru. A Premier Cru might be 90% of that. A Village might be 80% of that. I'm not sure of those figures. But the point is that the cost is different. So when you're looking at a bottle of champagne, think about all those factors. Don't just think, oh yes, well I could see this one at only $49 down there. Oh, that one's $120, so that's obviously a rip-off. Not necessarily. It could be because it is far better, far more complex, a lot more time and effort and quality is in that bottle. And don't forget, of course, when there's a vintage, every few years they decide that it's going to be a vintage because it's a particularly good year and it is the grapes from only that year. Now obviously that champagne is going to be a lot more expensive and it's going to last a lot longer as well. You can keep a really good quality vintage champagne up to 10 years and still have its wonderful effervescence and finesse. Whereas if you had they always say the best time to drink a non-vintage bottle of champagne is the moment you get it. Because as a consumer, you have no idea how long it's been sitting on the shelf in that shop. You have no idea how long the distributor, the importer, has had it sitting in their warehouse. You don't know when it was disgorged. Could have been sitting there for 10 years for all you know. And it doesn't develop and improve over time. So the moment you get that bottle of champagne given to you, that non-vintage bottle, I suggest you drink it right now. And as always, please drink responsibly. Cheers.